Welcome to the Echo Sportscast number 64.
I'm Ben Surden.
And I'm Jackson Bull. We start things off today with the NDA put on their annual hockey tournament last week. Teams from Sudbury and the Sioux came to play in North Bay. We have highlights from some of the Algonquin and Scholar games.
We also have some highlights of West Ferris taking on Chippewa in junior basketball action at the West Ferris Gym on Tuesday evening.
And the NDA Jr football All-Stars were announced last week to cap off the football season.
And we sat down with Jacob Brown and Jason Marchand from the Northern Ontario Hockey Association to talk about the great work they do in the North for hockey and to highlight a couple of neat camps that they have coming up over the holiday break.
Finally, we'll have your regular Lakers updates and some footage of the men's volleyball game against Western.
All of that on the way and more, but first a word from today's lead sponsor, the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation.
Dear North Bay, you've always been more than a place on the map. You're home to me. This is where I built a life with my husband, raised our kids, and taught in local schools for over 24 years. I'm proud to be part of this community. Earlier this year, my world shifted. After living with anxiety, depression, and PTSD for much of my life, I reached a point where I couldn't keep going alone. Walking into the emergency department at the North Bay Regional Health Center was one of the hardest things I've ever done. But what I found there changed everything. A nurse who made me feel safe, a crisis worker who truly listened. For the first time in a long time, I felt seen. That care gave me hope, and it inspired me to give back by supporting local healthcare so that others in our community can access the same compassionate care I did. If my story resonates with you, I hope you'll consider supporting the NBRHC Foundation. Please visit nbrhcfoundation.ca or call 705-495-8125 to give. Because mental health is health. With gratitude, Tiffany Van Meer.
So the NDA hosted their annual tournament last Thursday and Friday. I got around to a couple of the games on Thursday afternoon. Algonquin played in the round robin versus Cora, and the Barons put up a pretty good fight against the Sioux team, but they ultimately fell 3-1. Then on Friday, Scholar played Confederation from Greater Sudbury, and things got a little chippy between the two teams. Scholar did lead 1-0 after the first period. They did end up adding two more in the second to win 3-0, which helped punch their ticket to the semis, the lone North Bay team in the semifinals. And the Bears faced the Bears as Scholar faced St. Benedict's. Scholar getting out to an early 1-0 lead, but 2 goals in the third from St. Benedict got them into the final to face Cora, who Cora would end up actually going on to win the whole thing 4-2 in the final. I wasn't able to get to the final Friday night, but Tanner Wallace from Tan Photography, as always, at pretty much every hockey event, was there. On Instagram, he snapped a couple of really cool pictures of Cora's win over the Bears. So congratulations to Cora for winning the NDA tournament. And Jackson, we know we didn't see Chippewa in there. A bit of a tough time for the Ravens at the tournament, but overall, I think a pretty successful couple of days here in North Bay. Absolutely.
It's really important to get those teams from Sudbury and the Sioux to come down and compete with our NDA teams as a whole. Chippewa started scoring this weekend.
You got to score.
I think they lost 9-0 and then scored 2 and then scored another 2. So that's good. That's improvement for them. And Cora just looks so strong and talented. I watched them play Chippewa, and you wouldn't even be able to tell it was contact. They just played their system incredibly well and rinsed us.
Yeah, and I think that was the one thing I was really surprised with Algonquin was keeping that game against Cora so tight. 3-1. I was only able to get, because it was happening during the day, I was only able to get a little bit of footage. So I think that with Algonquin, I was there for like the opening first period or first half of the first period. Same with the Scholar games. Like I was only able to get there for a small fraction of it because they were starting at like 9 a.m. and I think the finals were at like 7:30 that night, which was crazy. I was going to go to the finals if Scholar got there. Once I saw that they lost in the semis, it was a little bit harder to get out of the house on it. It was a pretty cold day too, but it was neat. They did it all at Memorial Gardens, a couple of the games at Sam Jack's, but I think overall it was a good experience for the players. But I guarantee you, well, actually, no, I'm actually kind of curious because last year people said that they actually liked playing in Sam Jack's more than Memorial Gardens, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if it brings more of the physicality element. You can't just skate around people
Smaller
with the,
ice.
Yeah, with the big ice at the Gardens. But I think the Gardens is I know it's a much nicer facility, and so I assume it would be more fun to play on. But I
Much
don't
nicer
know.
to watch in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot more space to try to get footage and whatever. It's really hard to get. I feel so bad at Sam Jack's because the best place that I found was like in the far back corner, because that's kind of like the kids will hang out there. The little peanut gallery of of high school kids that are just chirping each other. But then there's kind of like the Zamboni doors, and that can be a good area. But you have to walk through like everybody to get there. And I feel so bad having to like get by people. It's not designed for walking with a crowd.
No, your other option is to go the dressing room side, which isn't that much better, and then go all
Then
the
you
way
have to
around.
go through the crowd of kids.
Yeah.
So you win or you win and lose, which is fine. But I think overall, like a very good start to the tournament. I think Scholar might be a little disappointed with how good they played this year to not find themselves in the finals and winning it. Especially when you host a tournament, you kind of want to win. But the Sioux always puts on great programs. They have a really good hockey program. Whenever you look at their AAA teams or you look at their like OHL teams or whatever, like they have really good hockey programs there. So and Cora just excels at every sport, it seems.
Well, yeah, I was talking to the rest of the Chippewa coaching staff and some kids. Like some of those Cora kids had just won OFSA football on the Monday and went and played us on the Thursday or the Friday or whatever it was, and that's just ridiculous.
So when do they go to school?
They don't. They don't have to.
They don't. Yeah, they don't need to.
No, they just need to be on the football field and on the ice.
Which is crazy because like you think about the amount of talent that's at that school, and then the amount of talent that goes out and they're playing not at the school, but they're playing in rep leagues or in the OHL or et cetera. That's even more impressive because again, I think the problem with the NDA at that level is that a lot of the great players that would be part of that team are playing at a higher level, which I think hockey has that unique challenge that I think other sports don't necessarily have, because football, you have the summer leagues and then that's high school. Volleyball and basketball, I think, are the same, right? Like all the other leagues kind of play around when the high school goes on. So I think hockey has a little bit of a disadvantage. Now, just because I don't know if you know all of the players that are around, but do you think that if Chippewa had all of the available players, do you think that they'd be a better team, or do you think Scholar would still have?
I think Scholar would still have
the best team.
hand. A lot of kids go to Scholar. A lot of talented AAA kids go. Chippewa has a few that are playing AA or AAA up in Liskert or like Temiskaming right now, but just by sheer number of kids, they would probably run the show. Algonquin might have some AAA kids, but
it'd be nice to see Ferris get a team again. I think same thing with Chippewa in football. It'd just be nice to have more teams. Even though it'll take a bit for those programs to get up, it would just be nice to have. It'd be a lot easier too because you wouldn't have to worry about bye weeks or figuring out the schedules and stuff. Like we talked about it before. They used to do doubleheaders. Like you'd have basically doubleheaders of NDA hockey, which would have been nice. Same thing with football. You could do the exact same thing. So maybe next year. We'll see.
I hope so. But yeah, you're right. Not even looking ahead to NOHA or OFSA, just a healthy NDA would be huge.
Yeah, but it's good to see it on the women's side, though. The women's, they kind of, on the hockey side, they have like, we'll talk about the NOHA that we've talked to before. They have some co-ed stuff, but they don't handle like the Junior Lakers, women's hockey. They're kind of in their own, I guess, association. But women's hockey is extremely popular, like very popular. I would say I wouldn't say it's more popular than men's hockey, but it's starting to get there at the junior level, which is crazy. And hopefully what I know right now with the girls, the NDA is playing, like they're playing at double rinks, which isn't the best ice surface, but they're also playing kind of during the day. So it would be nice to see them maybe get highlighted a little bit more there. So I'm going to try to get out to a couple of games, I think, when I get a chance. It's just hard because it's usually Friday, like first thing in the morning. And I have to get the Sportscast out first thing in the morning, so it can be hard to kind of juggle around. But it is nice to see the women's game growing as well, and that is a healthy NDA.
Absolutely.
So the regular season was back in action Wednesday evening as the Bears played the Barons, with the Bears continuing their perfect season with a 7-1 win. Only the one game on the docket this week, and it's on Saturday as Scholar hosts Chippewa at 8 p.m. at Memorial Gardens. It'll be a game.
It will be a game of hockey played at the Gardens.
So basketball happened on Tuesday evening, and Jackson and I have a story to tell you. Because I went to volleyball. I didn't get any volleyball footage this week. We will have this set up because I got to the Scholar gym. I was working late here. I was like, okay, I'm going to go to Scholar for 6:30, Ferris for 6:30, senior volleyball, senior basketball. Perfect, right? Everything's coming up perfect. Bit of a snow day on Tuesday, right? I was a little worried about that. And some of the buses were canceled, but not the ones in town. It was like the very Smith Road, kind of like out in the boonies, some of the buses. So volleyball, I get to the Scholar gym at, 6:35. It was a little bit after 6:30. Get to the Scholar gym, and Scholar and Algonquin are playing, right? Okay, ding, 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 good. I think it was the juniors playing, but they were in like the 5th set, and it was just starting. And the gym was packed. Like, there were people on the outside of the gym trying to watch the game. Like, you couldn't get into the gym. It was wild. So the gym was absolutely packed. So I'm like, okay, I think this is the junior game, but they kind of looked like senior players. Like, they didn't look... I don't know what the juniors look like, but usually they look a little younger and they're a little bit smaller. My gut was like, is this the senior team or is this the junior team? But I'm like, okay, it's 6:30. I can't wait for this game to finish. I need to go over to Ferris so that I'm able to get at least the basketball because sometimes it'll end in an hour. So I go over to Ferris and I see Mike Mitchell leaving. I'm like, okay, that's weird. I get into the gym and it's the juniors playing, not the seniors. And so I guess, I don't know if it was because of the snow day, but the senior and juniors got flipped around and the seniors played at 5 o'clock and I missed it.
That's all right. That happens.
That's not all right. That was very unfortunate.
It is very unfortunate, but you'll have to get them when they come back around to Chippewa.
And it was going to be a great game, too, because West Ferris and Chippewa, both great teams, right? Ferris, the reigning champs. Chippewa looked very strong in that opening game against Franco. And you do know the score, so you can maybe fill us in a little bit of what you know about that game.
The score was 69-59 for Ferris, so 1 by 10. But basketball and sort of hockey are one of those sports where you don't know, though if you're not there to see the last 2 minutes, you don't know what happened. Like a 2-1 hockey game could be 4-1 with 2 empty netters, but it was really a 2-1 game. Same thing with basketball. You try and foul, but Ferris is the favorite this year, I think.
It would have been a great game to watch, right?
Yeah, it would have been a great game to watch.
A great game to get some footage. But I do have some footage of the juniors. So the juniors played, they were in the second quarter at this point, and Chippewa was actually leading, I think it was 18-11. And Chippewa looked really good in the junior level. It looked like they were slightly outplaying West Ferris a little bit. Great transition game. They were making the buckets when they had to, which I find really makes or breaks you as a team. A lot of these transition points, you'll see guys just missing the basket or some of these layups not making it, but Chippewa was making it work. They were, stretching out a nice lead over West Ferris. I don't have the final score because I left after the second quarter, so I don't know what happened, but Chippewa was leading, and I couldn't see the final score. But Chippewa does look really good in junior basketball, and Ferris also looked pretty good as well, but Chippewa might be a team to watch, I think, in the junior circuit.
Yeah, it's starting to become a gap in my knowledge of the juniors, but I think that Chippewa runs a good program with great coaching. I know that they had some big names in 7 and 8 in the past, and so hopefully those kids are continuing to develop through junior and through senior as well.
So yeah, we don't do a whole lot of junior. We usually can't get to the games as much, but it was nice seeing some junior basketball, seeing where things are going to go. It would have been nice to see the senior game because of how good that competition is. But next week, knock on wood, as long as the schedule that we have remains the schedule that we have, I am hoping to go out and make it up a little bit and get some because I wanted to get an interview as well with one of the players, so that would have been perfect. Getting I think Sam Levesque is the coach for the seniors. I know he did. I know he did football as well, and yeah, it would have been nice. It would have been nice, but it is what it is. So not much you can do. We got enough content anyway, so I wasn't like scrambling for content or anything like that. But yeah, for those who were hoping to get some outside of the juniors, which was some great footage that we got and some great action. For those who were looking maybe for a little bit of a senior update, I know that one of the volleyball games went to 5 sets, and it looked very tight. So unfortunately, it's hard to get some of the scores here. It is what it is. Yeah. So I have made my peace with it.
Absolutely. And one last piece about basketball. On Tuesday, Nabising entered the NDA, made history with their sister school or brother school, Odyssey, kind of like the two Mattawa schools, and they headed down to play against Northern in, I believe, senior boys basketball. They might just do like a varsity, though. I'm not sure. And the Northern ended up winning, but it was huge for Nabising. They were really excited, and I saw posts about it everywhere.
That's awesome.
Good for them.
I didn't see those posts. I'll have to take a look. That's really awesome because we did talk to Thomas?
Yes.
Farrell.
Yes.
If I got that correct. And he's the athletic director there of the NDA for NBCing. And he's the athletic director of NBCing. And he was talking about, this was last year, he was talking about wanting to get into the NDA. So to see them to break through that and able to get into the NDA, I might reach out to him and see if he wants to come on and talk about it a little bit. We'll see.
Absolutely.
It's just it's really nice to see more teams come in. And I know that he's been working hard for that program. And it's never bad to have more teams in high school sports.
100%. And Thomas, he just seems like a superhero sometimes. Like, he does the badminton and stuff too. He does.
Oh, you're a big badminton man. You're waiting for badminton to come.
Oh, it's coming. It's December. That's almost badminton time.
I'm going to send you out to every badminton thing.
Perfect. I'm there. I'll tell you everything that happens.
Okay. So you are a resident badminton expert, which was great.
All right.
Kind of needed that in tennis, but, we had, what's his name? Why am I forgetting his name?
Jacob Fry.
No.
Cohen.
No.
Francois.
Francois, that's who it is, yeah. We need to bring Francois on again. He can be a resident. Well, he is the tennis expert. Francois was amazing. But we do have some upcoming games this week. Big asterisks, subject to change, apparently.
Upcoming games for NDA basketball. We start with the Art Gaber this weekend. Chippewa hosts that tournament, formerly known as the Tomahawk. And then next week for junior boys on the 9th, Schollard hosts Algonquin at 5. And then on the 11th, Algonquin hosts Franco at 6:30 and West Ferris hosts Northern at 6:30. And then on the senior side of things, also the Art Gaber. And then on Tuesday the 9th, Schollard hosts Algonquin at 6:30. Mattawa hosts Ferris at 5. And then on Thursday the 11th, Chippewa hosts Mattawa at 5. Algonquin hosts Franco at 5. And Ferris hosts Northern at 5 o'clock.
And on the volleyball side, we have no footage. But we do know that the game was tight. It was a very close one. I also know that their All-Star game that we talked about last week did happen. I know there were a couple of the socials had some posts about how it went. It was at Canadore. Seemed like it was a great event. It's always good. I don't know if you got any information about it, but I just saw a couple of posts on social. So it's good to see the All-Stars. I know with football, we'll get to football in a second, but I know with the football All-Stars, there's not a game. It's just more of a ceremonious kind of thing. It is nice to see. I think the basketball does it too, but it is nice to see the All-Stars being able to play in a legitimate All-Star game. And I don't know, you've probably experienced them before, right?
Yeah, I've been to a few, I guess. They're really great. Everybody's having fun. And, there's friend rivalries and school rivalries that are against each other. And then some of them have to be with each other.
Did you ever play in one?
I did not play in one.
So maybe it's a bit of a sore spot.
It's all right.
Okay, moving on to upcoming volleyball. So on the junior side, upcoming for volleyball, it's a little bit of an interesting one because the schedule doesn't make a lot of sense, but we'll try to get through this. On Monday, Schollard hosts Chippewa at 5 p.m. On Tuesday, this is where things get a little weird. It says Algonquin hosts Schollard at 5 o'clock. And Algonquin also hosts Chippewa at 5 o'clock. So there must be a typo there. We are not sure exactly what's going on there, but keep an eye, I guess, on socials to try to find out who plays who. That's just what we see on the schedule. And then finally, Thursday, Algonquin also hosts Ferris at 6:30 p.m. and Chippewa hosts Schollard at 6:30 as well.
On the senior side, things mostly normal, still a little weird. On Monday, Schollard hosts Chippewa at 6:30, and then on Tuesday, Algonquin hosts Schollard seniors at 5 o'clock.
So there's a little bit of mess up there because they can't host and play junior and senior at the same time.
Yeah, now it's 3 teams playing at the same time. Mattawa hosts West Ferris at 5, and then on Thursday, Schollard hosts Mattawa at 5, Franco hosts Algonquin at 5, and Northern hosts West Ferris at 5.
Please look on socials to get a little bit more clarity, because right now, Algonquin's junior team plays 2 games at the exact same time, as well as their senior team, all hosted at that Algonquin gym at 5 o'clock. Now, I'm not a magician, but that'd be one heck of a trick to pull off. So keep an eye on socials. I'm sure one of those games are supposed to be 6:30. I would imagine the seniors are probably 6:30, but just keep an eye on socials to get the exact team, because we're just going off based off what was supplied. So just when you thought football was over, it's back, because it's never gone. We joked last week we're going to see the All-Stars of the All-Stars. I forgot that they did Junior All-Stars, and they released them a week later. So the NDA Junior All-Stars are out, and we don't have individual pictures. They put together a nice little graphic, which is kind of nice of the NDA to do. So on offense and special teams, we had at quarterback from Algonquin, Max Desbiens, who's probably the brother of Matthew Desbiens, if I had to guess. Also at quarterback, Caden Barron from West Ferris. At running back, Waylon Pascoe from Chippewa, Callum Grant from Schollard, and Jacob Hayes from Franco Cité. At the tight end position, we have Cameron Davidson from Algonquin, Ethan Hepburn from Chippewa. At wide receiver / slot back, we have Zaid Zazie from Schollard, Emmett Reed from Algonquin, Caden Tuckett from West Ferris, and Eric Wright from West Ferris. On the offensive line, Henry Rondeau from Franco, Caden Freeman from Algonquin, Emmett Cloutier from Algonquin, Raiden Morris from Chippewa, Jax Gendron from West Ferris, Tayton Patel from West Ferris, Jackson Berry from Schollard, and Isaac Vlaic from Schollard as well.
Moving on to the defensive side of things, starting with the D-line, Ryder at Mansky from West Ferris, William Carr from West Ferris, Jesse McGill from Algonquin, Isaac Jacobs from Algonquin, Lucas Lindsay from Chippewa, and Trent Bocage from Schollard. And at linebacker, Isaiah Sullivan from Schollard, Jack Jessup from Chippewa, Felix Lalonde from Franco, Carson Patterson from West Ferris, Logan Rhea from West Ferris, and Kyle Ranger from Algonquin, and Drayden Rassicott from Schollard. And at defensive back, Marley Forrest from Chippewa, Sebastian Larocque from Franco, Kira Brown from Schollard, Quinn O'Donoghue from West Ferris, Reed Murray from West Ferris, and Felix Belanger from Algonquin, and at kicker, Cale Melnick.
So keep an eye out on those names, because I'm sure whether it's next year or the year prior, I'm assuming most of those are probably grade 10s. They will be in the senior circuit and probably getting interviewed and more so from there. So it's good, nice to see some of the Franco team getting in there. Of course, love to see Franco always had a really, I remember them having a pretty solid program when I was there. I want to say at the senior level. Remember them, I know I only played at junior, and I remember them always being kind of a menace on the junior circuit. So it would be nice to see Franco, see Chippewa maybe get into the senior side of things. And again, just like hockey, having a bit more teams and a bit more competitiveness and, well, not necessarily it'll be more competitive, but more variety, I would say, in the different teams and the different schools, because it's always great for the culture as well.
Absolutely. It is great to see Franco, and it's great to see some women in the NDA All-Stars for the defensive side.
Yeah, I was going to say I didn't see any in the offensive side, but yeah, seeing some of the, I know there's a few, like the women actually have the Bulldogs have an all-women's team now, which is really neat. I think that was last year was the first year doing it. And it's good to see women who traditionally don't play the game of football to give that opportunity in 2025 to be able to do what they want to do. It's almost that time of year. Early mornings at the rink, fresh notebooks and backpacks, and a community gearing up for another great season of varsity sports. At Source for Sports North Bay, we're proud to be part of it all. Whether it's finding your kid's first pair of skates, gearing up for tryouts, or outfitting your team for the season ahead, we've got you covered. Because here, we're not just a sports store, we're neighbors, coaches, teammates, and fans. And we're proud to cheer you on every shift, step, and stride of the way. Visit Source for Sports North Bay at 1321 Fisher Street and let us help you along your way. So earlier this week, I sat down with a couple of people. One person who is very familiar with the show, Jacob Brown, who has hosted the show on occasion. He's come on a number of times. He is literally everywhere in the sports world. He does all of the baseball stuff. Do you know Jacob at all? Or
I know who he is to see him. I don't know if he would recognize me, but I know who he is to see him and know what he's done, yeah.
Yeah, so we used to umpire together. We used to play baseball. Well, no, I don't think we ever played baseball together because he's younger, but we used to umpire together. So I knew him from before. And then obviously he runs men's league. He coaches Ferris in NDA baseball. I don't know if he's going to do it this year. I'm assuming he's doing it this year, but he did last year. And there's just a lot of people that I played house league baseball with, or minor league baseball, I should say, with, that are doing, like Curtis Winrow's another one. I think he coached for Chippewa baseball last year. Very passionate individual. I remember umpiring with him as well. And he works for Source for Sports. He works for Paul there at the store. And I keep forgetting that. So when I'll go in, I go, oh, it's Curtis. But anyways, Jacob came in and they talked. He is now the executive director of the NOHA. That's his. He is the director of hockey operations, if I got that title exactly right. And Jason Marchand, who's the executive director of the NOHA, which is just the overall governing body of all these different minor associations. The NDA is not underneath them, but all these other minor hockey associations that are around North Bay, up to the NOJHL. If you're in like AAA or Junior B or all those different leagues, it's probably underneath the umbrella of the NOHA. And we talk about some of the misconceptions that most people see them as a disciplinary body, right? Because if you're not too happy your kid's suspended or something happened, you're probably dealing with Jason over at the NOHA. But they do a lot of other stuff with development as well, which is what we talk about. And they had their upcoming Christmas camps that I mentioned on last week's show. They still have registration open for that. Only a few spots, but they have some really cool. They have like Mike McParland's doing stuff here. They had who's their goalie? Zach Roy. Who was part of it last year. They have like some really high-end coaches at elite level that are going to be putting these camps on, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it's good for them to get rid of that stigma and to bring more light to the positive things that they're doing. And it's a lot of kids that they're dealing with. All these,
absolutely.
It's a lot of hockey players. And so it's important that they get their recognition or that they paint the right picture for everybody.
And a lot of parents.
Yeah.
And I mean, I get it from the parent side. You pay a lot of money. Hockey is, I wouldn't say, it probably is the most expensive sport. I would be shocked if anything else comes close to it because of equipment costs, ice time, and especially when you're playing, like, not just being a coach and saying, why is my kid not playing? But as soon as, like, parents get very defensive. You could have a dangerous hit and you'll still have that parent probably not being too happy with any sort of suspension, right? Because it is what it is and it's an emotional thing. And you always want to see your kids succeed. But again, they do amazing work with some of the developmental camps that they do, which is some of the stuff that we talk about. So we're going to throw it over to the conversation I had with Jacob and Jason. It's only a short snippet, so you can find the full episode on our YouTube page. Just look up the Echo Spotlight interviews and you'll find them there. But right now, let's throw it over to Jason and Jacob. But let's talk a little bit about some of the cool stuff that you do when it comes to developmental side of hockey, because you have a couple of neat things that are coming up. It's a little tight right now, being December 5th, but you do have your Christmas camps that you still have registration, some limited availability for, which is really neat. So let's talk a little bit about the Christmas camps. First of all, what are they and why should people sign up?
Yeah, so I mean, the origin really of it was just conversations a few years ago that we want to have more opportunities for kids to develop outside of their traditional programming and playing under the same coach all year and things like that, and really filling in a void at Christmas time where teams a lot of the time are off the ice for not an extended time, but for a couple of days here and there. And it was just a real good opportunity that Jason and I discussed back in 2022. We put the rubber on the road and made it happen. The first year that we did it, we were fortunate to have about 600 people across the NOHA participating. Similar numbers last year, and I'm hoping that we're well on our way this year. We have 6 camps. I know you'll bring those up in a little bit. They will take place from December 27th to December 30th, and all of those camps are run by individuals that work at a high performance level within not just the NOHA. We have in Sault Ste. Marie, Ken Belanger, former NHL player, and his son, who's a current Nipissing Laker men's hockey player, Kenny Belanger, will be running the Sioux camp, for example, with Brian Clement, who's I believe he's the goalie coach actually at Lake State, as well as the Sioux OHL team, the Greyhounds. So lots of opportunities for the kids. And the one thing that I love about the Christmas camp is it's, again, diverse. We have from U7 all the way up to U18 and then goalie-specific sessions. But we've provided, and hockey has long provided, a lot of opportunities for rep players to go out and do things. Yes, rep players are more than welcome to come to this, but this is tailor-made for more of the recreation player if they want to come out and just, I don't care if you can't skate from blue line to blue line or do 2 laps around the rink without falling. It's just a really good opportunity to learn. If you want to sharpen your skills, there's that ability. If you want to just go out and get a sweat on and have fun with friends, there's that opportunity as well. So that's really what I take away from the benefits of the camp. And honestly, there's nothing better than being on the ice. So we're glad to provide that.
I remember doing power skating way back. I think that was in like Englehart. I can see the rink. I can't remember. I think it was in the Tri-City towns, or I think that's what they're called, the Tri-Towns. Is that what they're called still?
New Liskeard would be
New Liskeard. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I remember doing those. And so, yeah, you said the age groups, the goalies. Where are they happening? Because this is across Northern Ontario.
Yeah.
So do you remember off the top of your head? Or
I'm going to try.
Okay, let's see. I can fill in which ones you forget.
So we'll start close to home here. We'll start in North Bay.
Yeah.
So that one's kind of scattered throughout the city. In North Bay, I believe we're using all 3 arenas throughout. Again, if you're interested in signing up for the camp, you have till December 15th to do so, 5 p.m. Schedules are posted on the NOHA website, as well as the Northern Ontario Hockey Association social media pages, being Facebook as well as Instagram. We have camp as well in Sudbury, which is another exciting opportunity. Little Current, Englehart, as you alluded to, that city, Timmins, and Sault Ste. Marie. Okay. So we have the 6 opportunities for the kids to get on. The camps are really capped at 36 people per ice session. Gets crowded if there's that many people, but to me that it'd be fun to have that many people on the ice, and that really would speak to the successes of what we're trying to do. So yeah, great opportunities for it. It's 1 hour a day. So the fee is $110 plus HST, which gets you 4 hours of ice and coaching, as well as a NOHA Christmas themed water bottle and ugly hockey sweater. So yeah, those were Source of Sports helped us out with that. Has been a great partner with us over the last few years, helping us with the Christmas camp. So yeah, no, it's going to be really good.
And where do you go to sign up?
So to sign up, you can right off of our website. If you go to the NOHA website, there will be a link. It will redirect you to Sportal, the Hockey Canada registry. You'll go on that platform, and payment can be made on there through any major credit card, and then your invoice will get your receipt and everything. Your schedule will get sent to you automatically in the email.
You're like a salesperson.
Yeah.
Real well-oiled machine.
Trying, eh?
That's part of it, eh?
Yeah.
I don't know if you have anything to add, Jason, or... I know that's probably not your purview, but
no, it's not anymore. But I think to the number of people on the ice, one of the great things, as Jacob mentioned, like we have great great knowledgeable coaches are going to be leading these sessions who, have the experience and capability to really create stations and incorporate everyone into the ice sessions. So I know that's been brought up as a potential concern by some, but the people that we have are more than capable of incorporating everyone, making sure they're busy for the ice time. So
I know you name dropped the Sioux. Is there anybody else that you know that you have confirmed yet in these different cities that they might be interested in? That coaches and people who are running it.
Yeah, people that we had. Yeah, so the North Bay camp will be run again by Mike McParlin and a few of the guys from the Lakers team. Zach Roy was out last year doing the goaltending thing. They had Kyle Foreman out, former captain Devin May out. Mike and his guys did a great job there. Little Current in the past has been run by Espanola Paper Kings owner and head coach Jason Rapsowitz. We're hoping that that's the case again this season. Timmins is run up there by Stephen Vachon, who's a long-time minor hockey volunteer out of Timmins. He actually had a stint as an assistant coach on Team NOHA at the U16 AAA level a couple of years ago. Sudbury will be run by Sean Viancourt and Tim McWhirter. Tim is, again, Sean's a great volunteer, and Tim's actually on our coach mentorship committee that we have. He's another longtime volunteer. Tim's actually out of Perry Sound, but he loves working with the NOHA, and he's done fantastic work. So yeah, lots of really good people involved in what we're doing. The Englehart camp is run by Rick Barron and Steve Polyblank, who between the two of them have about 500 years of hockey experience. So that should be good for the kids up there as well.
Moving to the Lakers update, starting with men's volleyball. They had a doubleheader last weekend against Western. I made it there for the entirety of the Friday night game where they lost in 5 sets. They won the first 2 sets and they got reverse swept. And then bounced back on Saturday with another 5-set win. So 10 sets of volleyball for those boys, and they are not back until January 9th, where they take on Brock in North Bay.
How did they look in that game?
They looked good. They looked fine, typical volleyball stuff that Coach Nods would tell you. Can't miss serves, you can't miss block assignments, and 2 close games.
And you'll see Logan Gilpin on there, not next year, but the year after, I believe, right? 26, 27? No, that would be next year.
That's next year, yeah.
Oh, wow. I still think it's 2019.
That's all right.
That's fine. On the women's side of the volleyball court, also hosting Western on Friday, Saturday, they lost both those games in straight sets. And just like the men's, they are not back in action until the holiday break ends. January 9th, they will be hosting Brock here at Nipissing.
On the basketball court, the men's went down to Toronto to play U of T on Friday and TMU on Saturday. They ended up losing both those games and are not back until the end of the holiday break, where they travel down to Brock to play them on January 9th.
Women's in the same way, also on the road. They lost to University of Toronto on Friday night, 66-53, and then dropped their Saturday evening game against TMU, 96-52. And just like the men's, they are taking their break and come back to face Brock in St. Catharines at 6 o'clock on January 9th.
In the women's hockey world, they played University of Guelph on Saturday, and I went to the game with Stephanie, and we watched one of her friends, one of her Ice Bolts teammates, and Guelph was ranked fairly high going into the game. I think they were something like 11-3 at the top of the West Division, and Nipissing beat them 3-2 in OT. So,
yeah, where's the footage, Jackson?
The footage, I don't know.
Yeah, you just forgot to pull your phone out. It's fine. It's okay.
It's all right. They come back on the 7th of January to play Ontario Tech in Oshawa.
And the men's at the same time, they played 2 games last weekend. On Saturday, late afternoon, they hosted Queens, and they lost in overtime 5-4. And then on the Sunday afternoon, they've hosted Ontario Tech and won 6-2. They are back in action January 10th, the Saturday at 4 o'clock. They are traveling out to Quebec to play the Université de Québec à Trois-Rivières. I think I did that right. And then the next day, on Sunday at 2 p.m., they play Concordia University, a much easier to pronounce name for me, a non-French speaking person.
In Panthers men's basketball, they played 2 games last weekend. On Saturday against Niagara, they lost 94-81, and on Sunday against Conestoga, they lost 101-61. They are not back for a while. January 17th against Fanshawe.
And that is officially the end of the 2025 regular season schedule. Said that kind of in a weird way. It's no more games in 2025 for the Lakers or Panthers. So they get a nice deserved break. I remember going into college, the best part of that was your college ended on like December 11th or something, like the second week. But you kind of got screwed over a little bit because your oh my God, I can't think of the exams. That's what it's been so long. I haven't written an exam in forever. Your exams aren't over till like the 18th.
Yeah, the 16th is my last, and so I get the I don't know how long they go though. Maybe some on the 18th, but poor souls that have them there.
At least you live here, so you don't have to worry about traveling. But some of those people that would have had to travel home, it's not. I'm assuming they're all in person, right? Like they don't write exams online now.
Some of them do, but those ones are in person. Yeah, the late ones are in person.
So, it's a little bit of a well-deserved break for the Athletics as they're always on the road as they head into the all-important exam season, and they'll be back in January. We have some really cool things coming up, though, in the month of December because, of course, we will be gone for the Christmas holidays on the 20th Boxing Day, and January 2nd, we'll have kind of these cool little, I don't want to call them filler episodes, but they're going to be not sports-related episodes. They're going to be sports related. They're just not going to be having sports highlights, etc. in them. We are going to have a couple of cool interviews. We have your father, and I'm going to say this now so it forces him to come on the show. Your father should be the Boxing Day episode, which will be really cool. Your dad, a long time coach. You want to pump his tires a little bit?
Yeah, he's super involved in NDA. He convened NDA Hockey forever. Managed and coached Chippewa Hockey also forever. Big in the badminton world, obviously, and he's just a familiar North Bay sports face.
So we'll have him come in for that. And then we also have a former Lakers hockey player and lacrosse player who's going to be coming in for that January 2nd. He reached out to us and said, hey, if you want somebody to talk to, I used to play for Nipissing, and we're like, cool, that'd be awesome. So we're going to bring him in and have that for January 2nd. You're going to have to wait till January 2nd to find out who it is. And other than that, a couple of other neat things coming up. We've got more. I'm actually going to get basketball and volleyball senior level for next week, as long as there's no snow days, which are the bane of my existence right now. I feel like a parent. I don't even have kids, and I feel like a parent whenever I see a snow day on a Tuesday. I go, ugh.
Yeah,
But
you wake up and check if the buses are canceled.
I did. I legitimately did on Tuesday. I was like, are the buses canceled? And then I saw a bus go by outside my house. I'm like, okay, they're not. And then I still got screwed over by the change of schedule. But you know what? It is what we do our best.
You know what you can do? Go to Algonquin at 5 o'clock on Tuesday.
But
chances are there's a game.
Well, apparently there's 3 games happening.
That's what I mean.
And the juniors have enough players for 2 teams, which, well, I guess they would because they only need, 5 people on the court?
They have 2 gyms.
I have never seen the second gym. Maybe it's upstairs?
I think it's just in the far corner.
In the far corner.
Tiny.
Okay. Well, they'll need to have another one because they need to have 3 gyms available to be able to play 3 games of volleyball, apparently. So, join us again next week. It should be a great... another great episode of lots of action happening. Check out those NOHA camps as well. If you have a kid between the U17, U18 level that wants to get some extra coaching and development, there's some amazing opportunities available, not just in North Bay, but also across Northern Ontario. And it's just a really, really cool thing to kind of get involved if you want to sharpen your, I love that pun. It's my favorite hockey pun. Sharpen your skills a little bit. They run between I think December 27th and 29th. And it also gets your kids out of the house in the holiday season, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, maybe they're getting new equipment for Christmas and they can test it out.
There you go. So that has been Sportscast Number 64, as I always forget which, not last week, but this week I forgot what number we're on. Number 64. I'm Ben Sargent.
I'm Jackson Bull.
Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. Let us know if you have any sports coverage you want us to do, or information. If you have scores, schedules, results, standings, anything like that, you can shoot it over to me at ben@northbayecho.ca, or shoot it over to our socials at North Bay Echo, and we will see you all again next Friday.